Hello, I'm Jan Mulvey and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Again, we're going back to stuff like the home kit, for example. Obviously, it's red. It's always going to be red. But when it comes to away kits and stuff, again, is that do the club say, right, here's a list of colours that you can't use, or is it the Warriors seek to find something from history? We obviously is the brief for the away kit. Obviously, they went back to 1900 to 1906. Yeah. Is that a case of, you break out historicalkits.net or whatever it is and look through and go, oh, no one's done that for a while?
You're closer than you think in some ways. Not completely. It's not quite as straightforward as that, but you're quite close. You look at historical kits. You look at historical colours. We've got what we call between ourselves and the club a kit washing line, which is what are the features and what are the prominent features of kits through the years, but also what are the colour palettes that are used and what's popular, and you see and hear different things. Sometimes you hear a lot of fans say, bring back a yellow kit, and I'm sure over the course of time we may.
Have you been watching the show?
We may, a little bit. We may or may not see one of those in the next 2 to 3 years, but. Yeah. There's also, fans may say they like it, but then sales figures tell you certain elements as you progress through. So you consider many things. Also, there's the challenge of you don't want to do things that are too similar. As you know, home will be red. I think the key thing for us this year is we've reverted back to what is Liverpool red, high risk red, the original Liverpool red. Other brands have moved between shades of it and taken it away a bit darker. So we've gone back to what is the truest sense of Liverpool Shankly red, and tried to build the purest red story around the kind of 64, 65 Shankly mentality. So that was kind of where we came from with the red. You move into the other colour palettes for away in third. You look at the industry as well. You don't want fans to say, well, it's the same as last year's. So that's the challenge, and you've got to bring some difference. Is
there more sort of, I suppose, wiggle room when it comes to away kits to sort of to do things a little bit differently? Like?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not sure what the fan reaction would have been if we'd have come out with a black home kit, for example. Yeah. It's never going to happen. So there's certainly more rigor. And if you look at kits of the past, there's anything from white, yellow, grey, and then mixtures with red with white, black in there. So yeah, there's a bit more room for manoeuvre as you progress to away in third kit.
I suppose there's got to be a certain element where you think it wasn't until 1992 that Liverpool never had a green away kit until 92. So
yeah,
at what point does Warrior say, well, we're going to go back to history, or do you start making your own history?
Well, you've got to make your own ground as well. You've got to look at there's also, I mean, brands in every kind of walk of product, from fashion through to sport, they look at seasonal colour palettes, and you don't want going into sort of a summer season and going all dark and kind of quite boring and constrained. You want to bring some vibrancy, so colours do change on a seasonal basis, but we've got to look at what we think is right and push as much as we can and in the right fashion to bring new colours into the equation, because otherwise we would be glued to maybe 2 or 3. I think
there was a point here, we interviewed Ian the start of last season, and he said obviously a lot of it factors into the fact that what colours sell. Black kits do very well, I think, traditionally in Liverpool and stuff, and and there are certain colours that are guaranteed to sell more than others. Like I think the yellow kit issue was that I think yellow kits, I don't know whether this is true or not, sell less than black kits or along them lines. So there's obviously, as you say, that point you make where it's all well and good that fans love a particular colour kit, but they've got to factor in. There's got to be a cost element. You know what I mean? You've got to say, well, it's great having a kit that might be loved by a certain portion of fans, but if they're not the kind of people who buy the shirts anyway, then who are you pleasing?
It's what do you measure it by? What do you measure it by? Kind of response and coverage? Do you measure it by sale? It's a mixture. It's a kind of a mixture of everything. I think I think also it's not purely the colour. The performance of the team, how the economy's going at a particular point in time, the general background to the season before, and new signings. All sorts of things affect. If it was really straightforward and we could pinpoint exactly what made kits sell very well, then everybody would be kind of doing exactly the same thing. So there's a lot of factors around it that influence.
So yeah, but I mean, in a nutshell, Liverpool could turn up in leather nipple tassels, and if they win the Premier League, you know, there's that memory. All of a sudden, people are saying, "Wow, do you remember that kit?" You know, 18 years from now, we're looking back in hindsight.
I'll tell you what. When we introduce those, I'll let you explain to the players the performance benefits of nipple tassels.
Still JB Carragher was wearing in the new season.
I could just see that. Yeah, interested one as they line up as the teams come out the tunnel.
That scared will look terrifying though, wouldn't like. From a marketing perspective, obviously I think it's something you touched on earlier. Can we expect Warrior to become sort of a lot more visible in the coming months now that the deals there, you're being opened up to the world, and the European world certainly? Yeah,
it's wider than that. You know, the home kit had a great reception, and the club managed to deliver to, I think it was 115 different markets. So product was requested from 115 different markets and landed into those homes on June 1st. So
and 20 years ago, that was just market stalls in Liverpool.
Probably 115 of them, yeah. So, you know, you will see more from the brand. This is the first kind of public sort of presentation of product via the club. You've seen the home. The home went on sale early June, and the away kit was revealed. The training kit for the home and away has been revealed. So that, you know, that's looking great, and it's certainly got a good response so far. That then builds into the third kit appearing in July, early July, when the away goes on sale, and then that will go on sale in August. It'll be physically available in stores in August. So that kind of covers the next few months. Thereafter, you will see more from Warrior, the brand. So footwear will come into the equation, and then our own offering of everything top to bottom, from balls, goalkeeper gloves, apparel, so all the way through. And you'll see certain flashes of that on the tour in July.
Yeah.
You'll see the ball products being used by the team, and as you get towards December, you'll be able to get hold of it in stores.
Okay. Obviously, it was something we have discussed very early on with what is this idea that Liverpool's a very brand conscious city. Is that something that sort of Warrior are aware of, that it's in many respects, you know, without going into too much detail on them, there are certain brands that are synonymous with the city of Liverpool. I may or may not be wearing one of them now, but it's Warrior's obviously got to put a bit of work in to sort of win over the hearts and minds in some respect of some of those people. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think I think we do that by delivering hopefully what is great product into the club. Primarily, that's the starting point, and from there you build a bigger picture. So you'll see a continuing program of different product on and off the field over the course of the next 12 months, and that will just expand over time. So yeah, there is a job to be done, absolutely. You know, it wouldn't be any different, to be fair, with other clubs, with other markets. So, you know, that is the job we have globally, because we're introducing ourselves into the world of football.
Great. And you know, where do you sort of see where the Warrior see themselves with regards to being with Liverpool, and maybe expanding with other clubs in the next sort of, in the coming years, 5 years time or so?
Well, you'll see more on the club and the player basis. As far as Liverpool's concerned, in 5 years time, well, by all accounts, you've already got Andy Carroll nipple tassels in 5 seasons time. I think from a brand point of view, you know, you'll see us deliver product season on season, and you know, from our point of view, we want that to be the best possible product that we can deliver into the players from a performance point of view, and also from a fan's perspective. So hopefully 5 years down the line, we've managed to do that, and at the same time, you know, the club have progressed under the new manager, and we're looking at, you know, possible golden boot winners, and you know, we're looking at a trophy cabinet with more trophies in it, and everybody's looking at renewal. So we'd love to have a long-term relationship. That's the whole idea behind this. So we'd love to have a longer-term relationship than the current contract. So that is certainly our ambition, and we'll show that as we progress.
Brilliant. And lastly, obviously, I'd be remiss of me not to ask, can you tell us anything about the third kit?
I have to say,
plead the fifth a little bit.
Yeah, I have to say, tight-lipped. I can't give you anything on it. We didn't do so for the home or the away. The speculation was interesting. It's always great to see fans putting designs together, and we keep a close eye on a lot of different sites. And you know, some of the speculation is interesting, and you'll have seen from maybe some of the home kit speculation that it wasn't far off in certain respects. It got closer over time, but you'll see it.
The away kit was miles off. No one got into the away kit.
Exactly. So it kind of gives you you know two kind of positions to look at. So you'll see early July, you'll see the third come into.
Does it make you laugh when you see some of these speculations? You think miles off.
Sometimes, and sometimes good idea. So you know, there's a mixture of the two. It's a great way. Social media is a great way of getting direct fan feedback. So that's something we're using, and using our relationship with the club and the research they do with fans to try and get that opinion. It's difficult to share stuff because if you just were so open with it, you'd never have a launch because everybody would know ahead of time. So you've got to build that speculation. So we'll continue to do that. So expect more from us over time.
Brilliant. Excellent. Well, thanks very much, Kenny. Thanks
Pleasure.
for coming down.
No, great. Yeah.
Pleasure to have you on the show. There you go, Kenny McCallum, everybody. Cheers.